tonight. Wahoo, look at that. Everybody's there. Awesome. So we are coming in live to Auckland, Christchurch, Palmy, Wellington, Palmy, Wellington, Kandala, Napier, Auckland, Hamilton, Christchurch, the mighty Hutt Valley, super duper, Wellington, Franklin, Tauranga. Not a huge amount of international traffic this evening. Usually we have at least 10 or 15 people from overseas logging into my webinars. Dubai, there we go. Fantastic. Awesome. Wow. We've got nearly 300 people online now and more people coming in all the time. So I'm just going to do a quick brief introduction about who I am and what Property Tutors are, just to get you guys warmed into it. But now that you've got that control panel sort of sorted out and obviously buckets and buckets of people online and putting in questions, what I'm going to do this evening is run through a couple of success stories from our client base and explain where they came from, who they are, where they're going to, what they're doing, how they're doing it in the current property market. And when I say current, I've got Alex sitting next to me who's going to have a chat to you this evening, and he's just come directly from a renovation of his 2 suburbs away. And as soon as we're done here, he's going directly back, I think, as well, to be fair. So, you know, if anybody thinks that property is a get-rich-quick scheme, I doubt it very, very much. It's get rich, but just not quick. So I'm going to roll through that. I'm also linking in and just playing around with some audio in the background with Daryl and Jen, who are joining us from Auckland this evening, and they'll jump on at some stage. They're just sorting out their audio setup. So this is the GoToWebinar control panel. This helps you listen into the presentation that we're going to be running through tonight. On the right-hand side there. On the left-hand side, that's a photo of myself. Really need to update the photo now. But that's basically what I look like. I'm going to be your host this evening. I run Property Tutors in Wellington, so I basically run from the Bombay Hills south, I suppose. And my business partner, Sean Wood, runs Property Tutors in Auckland and has done for many years. He's the owner of the business. Yeah, I mean, Property Tutors is a property coaching company, and we, I think, do what it is we do very, very well, which allows us and affords us to have a lot of pretty cool toys, to be fair. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to have some fun with one of our toys later on in the presentation. This is it on the right-hand side here. This is Sean's new toy. It's a 7-seater helicopter that's just arrived in the country from Canada. And we're going to give some lucky listener on the webinar this evening, towards the end of the webinar, an opportunity to get picked up in that helicopter and go to one of the wineries, probably in the Hawke's Bay, to be fair, for a lunch, and we will then drop them back to wherever it is they came from. I think that's a pretty cool sort of a prize. I think that it's typical of one of the things that you can do and achieve as a wealthy property investor as well, which is kind of nicer too. So yeah, that we're going to offer that as a bit of a prize for somebody online tonight. So listen out towards the end of the webinar, and we'll get through that as well. So this evening I've got Alex with me. Say hi to Alex, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex.
And he's going to walk me through some of his deals in Wellington. And we've got Daryl and Jen, hopefully, on the line, who are having some getting some audio set up in the background as well. Daryl and Jen, can you hear me at the moment? And that's a negative. Okay, we'll sort that one out. We'll roll our way through that as we get there. This is the fun and games of live webinar audiences, to be fair. At least you know the content's fresh when we muck it up like this. Awesome. So who are Property Tutors? Firstly, the nice photo of the viaduct there in Auckland is just pointing out where our offices are in central Auckland there. We own that floor to the right there, right down on the viaduct. That's the head office for Property Tutors Auckland. Property Tutors Wellington has an office and a building in Wellington as well. And you've got that lovely lineup of people there, starting in the far left with the CEO for Wellington, Joy Thompson. The gentleman there is Sean Wood next to me, myself, and then Phil Thompson on the far right, who's the CEO for the Auckland branch of Property Tutors. and all four of us are property investors. All 2 out of the 4 have been real estate agents at one point, either commercial or residential, and we all 4 of us invest heavily in real estate. Um, love real estate and think that it's the vehicle of choice, I suppose, for wealth creation in the New Zealand marketplace. And it's exactly what it is that we do at the moment. So Property Tutors is not a real estate agency. You can't actually buy property or real estate off us. We don't sell houses. We don't sell flats, apartments. We don't sell any real estate. We advise our clients how best they should purchase property to make them the best money possible. We're set up in such a way to be advisors and to help and initiate our clients into many, many property transactions is more than they imagine that they can possibly do on their own solo. And we help them as best we possibly can to do, 10, 12, 15 property deals or transactions per year. And we work with a number of different strategies in enabling our clients to do that as best we can. We also help our clients with setting up joint ventures, setting up entities and structures, pointing them in the right direction for legal, finance, and even tax advice. But we don't do any of that in-house. And so we recommend external advisors for that so that we can be proactive in being separated from other advice that our clients receive as well. The other interesting question we get quite often is, how do you get paid? Now, Property Tutors runs these free webinars, and then we also run live in the room one-day events. We do very, very few of them. They're usually sold out, packed out, and absolutely massive. Hundreds of people attend. We stand on stage, Sean Wood and myself, and give absolutely everything we've got over a full day and tell investors exactly how we made our money, how our clients are making their money, and how you can make great money in property as well. And we do those events, and they are very cheap to attend. And then from that, if people feel that they would like to work with Property Tutors, they can fill in an application form and come and have a further conversation with us. Like to make very clear that we don't require people to bring cash or a credit card or a checkbook along to our event. It's not the way we work. Our sales process or system, if you like, is you get an interview, come and have a conversation with us, and we make sure that you're the right person for us and we're the right company for you as well. And so we're a very soft sell system. And I think anybody that's been through our program will tell you that there's no thumb screws. We don't do the hard sell stuff. And we do our event, which you can see on the bottom of the screen there, the Property Masters event, once or twice a year. It's a lot of information, a lot of content, and that's how we work our business, if you like. Okay, so that's who we are, and to a degree, I suppose, what it is that we do. This evening's webinar, I suppose, is a chance for us to have a conversation with, at the moment, nearly 400 people there out, all over New Zealand, and explain to you some of the results that we've been able to achieve with some of our clients over the last 12 months or so. And so we've obviously got a Wellington client and an Auckland client able to talk to you this evening, and they're going to roll through some of the stuff that they've actually done. I could, spend all night, go on and on about how awesome Property Tutors are and the system and the program that we run, but I think the results of our clients speak in volumes better than that. So we're going to get stuck into that. So the clients that we've got for you this evening to talk to you, our tonight's guest speakers are Alex from Property Tutors in Wellington here, who's sitting next to me, who's just come from his project and itching to get back to it. And so we'll run with Alex first. And then also Daryl and Jen, who are some of our clients from Property Tutors in Auckland. They're actually based in Waihi, a couple hours out of Auckland. They commute back and forth quite a bit and do a lot of their property investing. I think pretty much all of their property investing in South Auckland and Central Auckland. And hopefully, audio problems aside, we will be speaking to them very shortly as well. So, Alex, before we dive into, I suppose, your first project, which is this Mayo Street property. Some of you who are on our Facebook fan page, by the way, might have seen the photos of this property on there. We used it as a bit of a promo for tonight's webinar. Do you want to explain, I suppose, as much as anything, your starting position when you discovered Property Tutors existed and came along to our first event?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Well, sure, I can tell you a little bit about myself and what I've managed to achieve. So I've been in the program just a smidgen under 2 years.
HD webcam. Yeah, it's got a green light going now on the top one.
Hi, Jen. How you doing?
Okay, so then I'll get back onto that.
We can hear you now, Jen.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, thanks for joining us. Sorry about the audio problems. Ladies and gentlemen, Daryl and Jen have just joined us. We can hear them nice and clear. I'm just going to mute you guys for a couple of minutes while I talk to Alex, then I'll come back to you, but audio sounds good. Thanks for that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
IT problems. Anyway, so I was just saying, so I joined just under a couple of years ago, and I was pretty much starting out from scratch again after getting divorced. And so that was one of the challenges I had to overcome, but I'm in a relatively good corporate sort of job, so I was able to support mortgages with my income. So my strategy was to make use of the joint ventures that I could achieve through the Property Tutors. So one of the advantages that Steve mentioned earlier was that the Property Tutors will help us to achieve more than you could do on your own. So one of the things obviously was that there's other people who have capital but maybe less time, and so I can joint ventures and I can actually do a number of renovations where I wouldn't otherwise be able to do.
So, I mean, to the people sitting out there tonight who maybe don't understand quite what a joint venture is, the situation comes along an awful lot in real estate where you find a really cool deal that you could actually make some money on, but you don't have either the deposit or the ability to borrow from the bank. Sometimes you have a lot of one and not much of the other, and you just basically can't put the deal together, and it frustrates investors no end to see really good deals sort of go somewhere else because they can't finance it, buy it, and settle it. So what we do with Property Tutors is take people who have a high corporate income and sometimes sit them down next to somebody who has skills or a job that doesn't take up a huge amount of their time. And those two people get together and basically are able to put projects together or deals together that they wouldn't otherwise have been able to get their hands on.
Yeah, so that's exactly my situation. So I had a good corporate role. I was able to service mortgages, but I didn't have that capital. And so I would Steve would help me team up with other people who had that capital, but couldn't necessarily support the mortgages. And so we were able to do multiple projects together. And using that strategy, I was able to build up enough of a capital base so that I could start focusing on purchasing some hold properties. So the strategy there was really to make sure I'm buying in properties that I can really add a lot of value so that I can recycle my money out and use that recycled money to go and buy the next property.
So by that, and as way of an explanation, you'd be buying something, say, worth $250,000 in the Wellington market, probably a lot more in the Auckland market, and you're buying something that's a bit scruffy or a bit ugly or could do with a bit of love. You give it a decent cuddle with a whole pile of paint, basically, and fix the obvious issues and make the place clean, tidy, nice, get it revalued, and it goes from sort of $250,000 with $30,000 poured into being worth, say, $370,000. You take the valuation at $370,000 back to the bank, and they say, right, we can now top that mortgage up to 80%, and suddenly you own the property with a slightly higher mortgage on it. You've still got 20% equity in it, but you've got your deposit back, and you can then use that deposit for the next property after that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I've done on multiple properties. I've managed to do around about 10 properties per year. So on average, Oh, and a number of properties I've managed to flick onto other people as well. So probably going through around about 12 properties a year, one a month, basically.
And realistically, with your skills, cash flow, equity, and the time that you had available, without the program or the group of people and support that you had, how many deals do you think you could have done a year? Totally on your own.
I was dabbling in this a bit before, and I was getting through maybe one every 6 months.
So 2 a year.
So 2 a year versus 10 to 12, and I'm hoping to ramp it up to get one every 3 weeks. So there's quite a difference.
That is huge. Hey, with this property that we're looking at here, 4 Mayo Street, we use this in the marketing on Facebook, and I got some really interesting queries from people who absolutely black and white swore that is definitely not the same property. Now, I think that you should take that as a pat on the back, to be fair, because on the left we've got the original property, on the right we've got the post-reno property. Why do people think that it's not the same house?
Oh, yeah, I think that's a compliment, really.
Take it.
So, well, to be fair, the one on the left, the old photo, is the front of the house, and the other photo is the back of the house. But it changed a lot. There's a room sticking out the back. It had a flat roof. It was about head height. So you walked into that room and you'd bump your head. So we chopped the top of that additional room off, and put a new profiled roof up there. Threw in the French doors, reconfigured it, moved the laundry, and moved the kitchen and everything, so that we got an extra bedroom. So this, one of the ways we were able to create the additional value, was to turn it from a 3-bedroom into a 4-bedroom, open plan it. And it turned it from a real ugly duckling into a stunning house that when I went to rent it, I had queues and queues of people lining up to take the property. So that's currently rented. It's got a good return on it, and yeah, I mean, it's absolutely the same property, but you wouldn't know it from the before and after photos.
No, and I had a gentleman on Facebook have a wee argument with me and swear black and blue that we were being totally dishonest and that it was absolutely not the same house. And I found the easiest way to actually shut him up was to offer him an airfare up to come and have a look at the house.
Oh yeah, well it's currently tenanted, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind us taking him around and showing him it.
Yeah, just to rub his nose in a little bit. I mean, it's the same house. The other thing I think that people sort of freak out about is the condition of that roof. But I mean, you sprayed it, cleaned it up, tidied it, painted it, looked mint.
Yep.
Looked really amazing.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. And what sort of money did you pay for this house? Do you remember? This is back in the day a little now. I'm sorry, I'm going to
$171,000.
$171,000.
And it has revalued at $300.
So this is a semi-detached, how many bedroom house?
4 bedrooms now.
This is a 4-bedroom house in Lower Hutt for $170,000.
Yep.
Quick show of hands, who thinks that it's not able to buy cool houses for low prices? That's just insane. Yeah, I mean, that's bonkers. And it's now worth $300,000. So you've kept this one, put a tenant in it, pulled all your money back out?
Yep, pulled all the money back out, and it's helped us get into the next one.
Yeah. And was this property gifted to you by a friend? Did you steal it? Did you have to knock over an old lady to get them to sign the contract? I mean, was it just on the market?
It was just on the market. It was just by negotiation. And this is actually one that I did a joint venture with, so couldn't afford it on my own. This was one of the first ones I did. And so I bought that one together with a partner.
Magic. And how long ago was this? This was a year and a half ago, maybe?
Yep, that sounds about right.
Magic. So it's still in the same market as well. I mean, it's just, yeah, that's insane. All right. Do you want to talk us through maybe a couple of these different ones as well?
These ones aren't too exciting. These were, one on the left was just a standard 2-bedroom. I just got it at a really good price. I think I paid $152 for that one.
Yep.
And it's rented out at over $300 a week, $320 a week.
88 Reynolds now. Is that the one that's
got some pretty big. It's got some pretty big cracks in it. It's had a bit of sinking. But to be perfectly honest, I bought it because it's on a good piece of plot of land. So at the moment it's returning. It's got a pretty good return, over 10%. I only spent a few $1,000s tidying it up. One day soon, when I'm feeling like it, I'll just knock the house over and I'll build something better there.
You just about push it over, wouldn't you?
No, it's got a lot of brick and concrete in there.
Yeah, it is, yeah. But as you say, I mean, you bought it for probably less than the land value is. Subdivided properties in Titan now are going for 225, 230 just for the land alone.
Yep.
So if you bought this for 150, 60 grand, you could still afford to demolish it, knock it over, get someone to cart the house away, and the land's still worth more than what you paid for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy to just keep holding on to that for a while.
It's a nice little land bank, that one.
The other photo you've got there, that was an absolute dive when I got it. It was pretty bad. We took 17 truckloads of rubbish away.
17 truckloads.
Yep. It was a fair mission to tidy that up. It's now clear. It's looking good. I did a minimalistic renovation on that, just paint and carpets, tidied it up, and probably spent about just a smidgen under $10,000 on it, and it's now returning about 7.5% on it, positive cash flow. All of the properties I'm holding are positive cash flow. They don't cost me a cent to maintain. And again, that one's a land bank. That's on over 1,000 square meters. So, and it's in a really good area. So I will knock that over in 5 or 10 years and build some units there probably.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a magic street too. It's a great location, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a killer. Awesome. So, when you say positive cash flow, basically what you're saying there, and I'm sorry if I'm making some of the more experienced attendees on the webinar pull their hair out with the explanations here, but positive cash flow basically means that the rent coming in more than covers the mortgage rates and insurance outgoings. So with your entire portfolio that you're sitting on currently, that you've put together over the last year and a half, 2 years, you are actually receiving more cash than is going out, and it's making you money.
That's right. And my goal was to start moving away from my corporate job. So I initially dropped down to 4 days a week, started building up my portfolio, and this year I've now dropped down to working 3 days a week. So eventually I will end up working no days a week, and I will retire a happy man. That's the goal anyway.
Are you trying to tell me that sitting in an office and working for somebody else isn't as fun as running around in a car and buying houses and instructing painters?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying.
It can be a lot of fun, and that's what I love about property investment too. It's a lifestyle choice to a degree, and it gives you all of these freedoms that the corporate world just can't touch, to be fair, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gives you a bit of a buzz, actually.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, what else have we got here? What's the correct pronunciation of that property at 14?
Beaushop.
Beaushop? Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure.
Me too. I've heard Bishop. I've heard, I mean, you own some of the streets, so I think you get to choose.
Yeah, okay, I'll run with that one. We'll call it Beaushop.
All right, Beaushop it is. Right, tell us about that one.
Well, that's basically the same as the Avon Street one.
It's the other sort, the other corner, isn't it?
It's the other side of it, yeah.
Yeah. So Avon Street was like two flats that were connected, and one was on Avon, one was on Bishop.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, so that's actually the slightly better view of it. And how many? 17 bin loads?
No, not 17 bins. 17 trucks.
Trucks.
Yeah.
I think that's only slightly beatable by the 26 that came out of the Windrum property recently.
Oh, I'm just digging out a different property. I've got 5 renovations on at the moment, 5 on the go.
Right now, 5.
And we've just towed away about probably over 60, probably getting close to 70 tons of soil.
Wow.
So we're having fun there.
Yeah.
A lot of digging.
So basically you bought this house and then you're giving away most of the section.
Yeah, that's right.
Taking it all away.
Yeah.
That's insane. So that's Beaushop. McBain, that was interesting.
I just managed to negotiate a nice price. There was no pressure. I just offered them. They accepted it, and I got it at 100K below GV. So instantly I was able to get my value out of that, and I didn't have to do anything to renovate it. Oh, actually, I had to repair one window, so it cost me about $2,000.
Yep.
So that's just a great little rental property. So that added to my portfolio.
And realistically with that one, it was it's what you would consider monolithic clad, but it absolutely does not leak, and it passed every building test, and everybody else just didn't want the thing because of it. But it's a great little rental. It's a really good condition little property in a good location, and everybody just walked past it, really, didn't they?
Yep. Yeah.
Unbelievable. What sort of yield's that one getting? Because that's
that's over 10% as well.
well over 10%, that one. And when you say 10%, are we talking gross or net on these figures? They'd be gross figures.
Yeah, that's gross.
Gross figures. So still magic when you consider 4.5% interest rates that are likely to go down from there. All right, awesome. Champion Street, that's Pororua?
Yeah, that's just one I did in Pororua, much the same, just a cosmetic renovation. The one on the right, Redvers Drive, again, that was just another, buy really well. Didn't have to do anything. In fact, it was such a nice place. I moved into it, lived there for a year,
and
I've
nice.
just rented it out.
Did you actually do any renovation at all on that one?
No. I mowed the lawns. Actually, I lie. I didn't mow the lawns. I paid someone else to mow the lawns.
That sounds better. Yeah. What sort of discount did you get, or what sort of money did you pay for the Redvers
that one's
one?
got a register. It's got a GV of 560,000, and I paid 400 for it.
Yeah.
So 160 below.
So basically, what you did from the properties that we've seen so far tonight is you've just bought incredibly well.
Yeah.
Made sure you've protected your cash flow and been able to put together a level of equity, which has now allowed you to be able to purchase more properties independently without the use of the joint venture partners?
Getting there. I'm still making use of the JVs. Like I said, I've got 5 projects on the go at the moment, and for those renovations, I use a lot of JVs to help with that, because I don't have quite enough to buy 5 houses at a time.
Yeah. I'm getting some questions coming through, and I'm going to hit a couple of them while we're here. But one of the questions I got was, what did the renovation cost on the Mayo Street property, and what sort of time frame did it take you? And I know that you're probably slightly sensitive on that because it was your first one and you were warming into it.
Yep. Well, that one wasn't managed quite as well as it could have or should have been. A lot of learning curves to go through there. We spent around about 60,000 on that, maybe a smidgen over.
Yep.
Time frame, to be perfectly honest, I can't remember. It was held up with council consents and getting the right drawings done and getting the joint between the new roof to the existing roof. So there was a few technical delays and things there, but in the end it was nothing major. It's probably 10 weeks or something like that to renovate it.
Yeah. And your latest project that you've just come from this evening and heading back to shortly in Nainai, what sort of renovation budget do you have on that, and how long has that taken?
Well, it's been it's a pretty much bread and butter type one at the moment. The renovation budget I set for myself there was 30,000. The total expenditure would be probably more like 27. I'm a bit of a tight ass when it comes to that sort of thing.
Got to be, yeah.
But time frames, I've only owned it for 3 weeks. The renovation, we didn't start for a week, so the work itself has only taken 2 and it's already finished. So we've done new kitchen, new bathroom, new floors, new carpets, paint through. We didn't paint this one. We wallpapered throughout, new curtains, everything basically, light fittings and landscaping and everything. So that's all been done within 2 weeks.
For under 30 grand and in 2 weeks.
Yep. We had plenty of people working there at a time. You'll get around there and there'll be like 20 different people working away.
So you'd say there's been a massive learning curve from Mayo Street right through to Nainai Road for what you're doing now?
The process has been streamlined hugely.
Yeah, so obviously you've got a good group of contractors now.
Yep.
That you're happy with?
All about getting good contractors, building those relationships, getting to know your agents, getting to know suppliers, etc., etc. All about networking.
Magic.
And that's one of the advantages of the property tutors is, they already help set you up with suppliers, and you've got a network of other partners to work with. They've got lists of tradies and things that they've got experience with. So it just speeds the whole process up, and you've got people there to pick their brains and learn from.
One of the other questions I'm getting is how do you find the time find all of these projects and these deals with a corporate job as well?
A lot of work. Don't have a lot of spare time, but you want to get ahead. You're not gonna, these things aren't just going to fall in your lap.
Yeah, I think if there's one thing that people take away from tonight is that our really successful clients and really successful property investors don't play golf on Thursdays. They don't take long weekends every week. They work harder than they ever did before, probably.
That's true.
But they earn more and they enjoy it more and they work for themselves and they're making something for themselves and for their own futures.
Yeah, I would agree with all of that. But like I said earlier, so that I can do more of the property, I'm reducing the number of days that I work in a corporate role because this is just so much more lucrative and just 1,000 times more fun.
Absolutely. And I think that's a major part of Property Tutors as well, that we actually do have a lot of fun. We go away for, corporate weekends like any other corporate does, but we actually enjoy them more because it's just a group of property investors that we get on with really well, and we have some giggles, and and I think that's part of it is having that group mentality and the group buying power with the likes of Resine and Mitre 10 and Bunnings and all of the suppliers as well, but also having the push with the contractors that we use too. It just makes it does us an awful lot of help to be able to go down to your hardware store and be treated like somebody who's spending a lot more money than we normally do because we are grouped together as a larger entity.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Tell us about this one, which is your latest project.
This is an interesting. This is my favorite project so far, I think, or one of my favorite ones. This is a recent purchase. It's a 240 square meter house. It's all house, no garage.
So that's actually 3 stories tall, isn't it? It's a big house.
Yeah, it is. Currently, it's actually only 4 bedrooms, but there's like studies and rumpus rooms and second lounges and all sorts of things in there. So without any reconfiguration, we've got 7 bedrooms there straight away. Aside from the dated decor, there's nothing structural that really needs to change. So
that kitchen's a treat, isn't it? That's gorgeous.
Oh, that wallpaper's just sexy.
You wouldn't want to wake up to that every morning, would you?
I do at the moment.
Oh, that's right. You're living in this one too, aren't you? You've moved from Red Vision to here.
Yep. It's my eyes are sore. Anyway, so what's the deal with this one? I am going to turn this one into a boarding house, rent by room, and this is one of the things that Steve has a bit of experience in, so I'm just leveraging off that. I've never done this before, but I'm going to convert it into 10 bedrooms. It'll go into 10 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 4 toilets, large kitchen, open plan to a dining room and a separate lounge, and all that within the current footprint.
Magic. So no foundation changes, no massive council issues, just the normal council issues, really.
Yeah, we'll need to get a building consent because it turns it from residential into commercial, and so there's a few extra hurdles to go through, which I'm in the process of going through, but resource consent has almost been granted. Then work will start, and I would say within probably 4 months the whole project will be completed, and it'll be a good boost to my income.
Magic, yeah. I mean, those cash flow ones certainly always are. It really is a beautifully dated masterpiece on the inside, and having walked through this property a few times, all I can say is it's immaculately dated. Everything in it is clean and tidy, but old, but straight. No rot, no leaks, no real issues to be seen at all. So walk us through a few numbers on this one, because it is a pretty outstanding deal.
Yep, so the purchase price, well, it's fairly self-explanatory. On the right-hand column, the commercial option is the one we're going for. So I'm planning to spend around about $95,000. It might be a smidgen over. I'm not really too stressed by that. But the income that it generates is going to be around about that $2,000 a week. So that gives a pretty good return. Based on that, it will revalue about $800,000, and that means that I can recycle my deposits straight back out of there, and essentially that means I get a free house. I've still got 20% in it. Actually, I may even end up having 30% in it, and not end up having to have put any money into it.
Yeah. So essentially, if it does value at only 800, and we expect it to go a bit higher than that,
yeah.
If you borrow 70% against this, not 80, being conservative with a bank, you'll end up with a $560,000 mortgage that you'll pull back out of this, which is your $500,000 purchase price plus a large majority of your renovation capital.
Yep.
But it's going to be returning $2,000 a week, and with current interest rates, that's going to be cash flow positive by miles and miles.
Yeah, that's right. It'll give me, if I'm very, very conservative, it'll end up putting probably $500 or $600 a week in my pocket,
which is probably enough to allow you to put up with doing one less day of work in the corporate role.
Absolutely.
And instead of doing 10 or 12 projects next year, you might do 14 or 16.
Yep. On that slide, you'll see we've said 11 bedrooms, and earlier I was talking about 10. That's just because I've tweaked around with the design of the house, and not going to be getting rid of one of the dining rooms. So want to try and make it a little bit larger and a bit more space for the people living there, and just make it a nicer environment. So make it a cool house. So probably only 10 bedrooms.
So the real translation of that is that you're not going to let somebody live under the stairs.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. No hobbits in there.
All right. Okay. All good. So this is a sort of a rough idea of where your portfolio, I suppose, sits. We were doing some quick numbers on this prior to going online tonight. And, without that latest project, because it's not completed, finished, tenanted, or revalued yet, your portfolio up to this point that you've purchased in the last sort of year and a half since you really seriously started with Property Tutors, it sits at around $2.6 million.
Yep.
It's got a moderately high loan-to-value ratio of 77%, but a really impressive weekly income of $5.5 grand a week, which gives you $237,000 annual income, and just north of a 9% gross return over the entire portfolio, with some really healthy equity in there too.
It's pretty conservative. I mean, that doesn't include any of the renovation projects that I've got on as well. So, there's well over $3 million there, and as soon as the new property is completed, it'll be upwards of 3.3-ish, I'd say.
Yeah. So that's pretty healthy. And I mean, essentially, what I like about the way that you're working this, Alex, is that you're doing it pretty much exactly the way I built my portfolio 10 years earlier, which was going into some of the uglier, scruffier properties in Lower Hutt, adding masses of value to them, recycling equity, and turning it into cash flow positive properties that you want to keep and hold in your portfolio. And I've still got all of those ones, and a pile of Wellington ones as well. And after 7 or 8 years of flat market in Wellington, we're now watching a resurgence in values here and just rubbing our wee hands together with glee.
Oh, that's awesome.
It really is. It really is. You've got your 9i Road one that's going to go up on the market shortly. And, you mentioned earlier that your real estate agent came back to you and reevaluated what she felt her end price for sale was on that today, didn't you?
Yeah, well, that may be, an extra 40, 50, 60,000 on top of the budgeted margin. So, I'm kind of happy with that.
Sure. So conservatively, we priced that as a purchase of X number for you to make, say, $30,000 profit on the project, and it may possibly be double that now by the time you take it to market.
Yep.
Which is just the safety of a fantastic property market, getting your hands on something and rolling through it, and exactly the same as what's happening in Auckland at the market exactly right now too. All right, stoked with that. Excellent. Well, before we roll on and start talking to Daryl and Jen about what they've done very shortly, have you got any closing points? What did you think of, I suppose, the system, I'd say, of coming along, buying a ticket to go to the Masters day in Wellington or in Auckland, and the presentation that we put on and the way that we explained it, and the system, I suppose, of getting in line with Property Tutors?
What would I say to someone considering coming along? Well, I mean, it's $10 to come along. I mean, what's that? There's a lot of really useful information that you can learn from it. Even if you go along and you attend and you decide not to join Property Tutors, there's a lot of useful information there, a lot of tips and tricks you can pick up, a lot of strategies, good update on the markets. Come along, listen, network with the other investors. There's a lot of people there, a lot of investors. So, I mean, it'll be super interesting and it's generally pretty good value. So, come along, hear what they've got to say, and make up your own mind.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I mean, the other thing that we do when we run our masters events is that we have crew that come in and help us run the program, run the day, so that all of the attendees are really well taken care of. And the way that we crew those days is we take current existing clients of ours, put them in a Property Tutors shirt and say, right, you guys take care of the people in the room, so that the attendees in the room can actually come and ask our clients, our current clients, any question they like.
Yep.
It's a total open thing. And Alex has been so kind in the past to crew for us for previous Masters days. Are you going to be doing it again for us on the 15th of May in Wellington?
Oh, it depends how many renovations I've got on.
You got five,
maybe.
You got 5 on at the moment. You got a couple of weeks to get a few of them finished.
Yeah,
but
might be there.
We really appreciate that of our clients, and we think that it's a very sort of, I suppose, honest and open way to have our clients available and to be asked any question by the attendees in the room too. And so normally Alex comes along, and if I can talk him into it again, I will. And obviously Daryl and Jen, who are from our Auckland clients who are going to be speaking to us next, often crew one or both of the events as well. And so if you think that Alex's story is particularly exceptional and want to tap him on the shoulder in Wellington on the 15th of May, it's most likely that you'll be able to do that and have a conversation with him and ask him yourself how he managed what it is that he's done, and whether he's got some magic fairy dust in his bag to soothsay agents, or whether it's actually doable by everybody and open in the market there. And I'm getting a lot of questions coming through going, how do you buy properties that cheap? Where do you find them? How do you find the agents that'll do that? And all I've got to say is I think that Alex has injected himself into this as a project very, very well. He's taken it on passionately and decided that this is what he wants to do. He enjoys it. He's the right type of person for it. He's got the temperament for it. He doesn't tend to pull his hair out as much as some people could because it's stressful and there's stuff goes wrong on a daily basis. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's magic. I really don't. I just think it's a matter of putting yourself in that marketplace. Would you agree?
Yep. No, I'd agree. And the Property Tutors, Steve gives lots of advice about what to do and how to do it and how to negotiate, and they'll walk you through it, and it's not so complicated. It's just a matter of applying the principles.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that. Thanks so much for that, and I really appreciate that you've come along and spent a couple of hours here tonight, because I know you'd rather be under a house in Nainai.
Yeah, no worries, you're welcome, and I'm going to disappear off now and go and do some work on that renovation.
Awesome. Well, look, thank you very much again.
Okay.
All right, so next this evening, we're going to have a conversation with Daryl and Jen, who I'm going to unmute and hope that they are good to go for us now with their audio problem they had earlier. Daryl and Jen, can you hear me? Hey, there you go. How's it going?
Yay.
I'm sorry that turned into a bit of a nightmare for you guys.
Oh, that's all right. I'm actually a bit worried, Steve. I was listening to the guys before there, and you're saying that you can't play golf on Thursday because you're too busy working, but I play golf on every Thursday. I don't know what's going wrong.
Geez, Jen, how do you let them get away with that?
I have to give him a day off sometimes.
Why? It's free slave labour. Come on, make the most.
He works hard during the week, the rest of the days.
Very cool. Hey, where are you guys coming from tonight? You in Waihi, or are you in Auckland, or where are you?
We're in Waihi now, Steve.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you joined Property Tutors, and maybe what your situation was prior to joining up and sort of coming along to the Masters event for the first time?
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on, then. You talk, Jen.
Yeah. We sent our son to a Property Tutors day, and we asked him, because we were going to Queenstown, and we asked him what he thought of it when he got back, and he was going crazy renovating his own property. He was up on the roof, and
Right.
he said, "Mum, it's so cool." Yeah, he was just like, yeah, he just thought it was magic. And Daryl and I both went up and had a meeting with the general manager, and we decided we both wanted to join because we both wanted to know, we didn't want one or the other coming home and, you know, saying, this is what Sean said, or, you know. So we decided we'd both join, and it's been the best thing we've ever done.
Yeah.
I had 3 jobs, working at the pub. I had a cleaning business, and I was caregiving for someone.
Wow.
And Daryl was a toolmaker. Yeah.
Yep. So neither of you are actually builders, so to speak, or had a huge amount of property experience prior to that?
Correct. No, we knew nothing about property at all.
Yeah.
Apart from
Awesome.
buying our own house. Yeah.
All right.
So
And
it was pretty minimal.
so what sort of I've got to be a bit careful here, guys, that are listening in on the line. I don't want to ask you guys questions that you don't necessarily want to answer. And I know that you've been really great with sharing your story and your trip, I suppose, with previous people live at the Masters event for us. But what sort of income level were you at prior to joining and getting into property, and how has that changed to where you're sort of at now?
I guess probably engineering, I was probably making 70, 80,000 sort of dollars a year. Jen was probably between 30 and 45,000 maybe a year for her part-time jobs and cleaning.
Yep.
Now we're sort of sitting around that 400, 500,000.
Wow. So previously you between the two of you were working 4 jobs and putting together sort of, you know, close to maybe 100 grand, and now it's 4 times that, and you work for yourself and play golf.
That's correct. Yeah.
Via a lot of hard work, I might.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
that's exactly what I was saying.
Been a lot
Without
of hard. Yeah.
it is not
You
easy.
get out of what you put in. Yeah.
And what sort of hobbies do you have, Jen?
I like bike riding and doing marathons, walking, anything to do with fitness, really.
Yeah. Where was that last
And
marathon
houses.
you did?
I did that in China, the
Yep.
China Wall.
Yep.
It was absolutely amazing, and something I could never have done if I had a normal job. Yeah, so I could take the time off and go, and Daryl looked after everything.
Yeah, fabulous. Did Daryl get some payback when she had finished that? Did he get to go and do something as well?
He got more golf.
Fabulous.
He's a crazy golfer.
So you guys have been working with Sean Wood in the Auckland property market now for a little while. How many years have you been a client of Sean's for?
We're on our 7th year with Sean now.
7 years. So 7 years ago, when Sean was probably just in his first couple of years of running the Auckland program, you must have been one of his very first clients in the first year or two. Would that be right?
That'd be right. Yeah, we were sort of just after. Yeah, he'd only been going for I think a year and a half or something like that.
Yeah. And what do you've come into this program from a place of having only bought your own home before, and you've gone into a point where you've started buying, selling, renovating, trading, and running a team of crew and renovators for yourself. How different is that to the work that you did previously? Is it easier, harder, different, more fun, less fun, more stress, less stress?
I guess from my point of view, I was engineering for 30-odd years, and when you have a change of career like going into property, it's actually really quite exciting. And the thing I like about it is you're not stuck to a sort of a 40-hour week. You can manage your guys, and you can come and go as you please. Really, you're your own boss to a quite a large extent. And if Jen went to China for a marathon just because we can, we put ourselves in that position. We've been to America a couple of times and Thailand, on holidays and stuff like that, just because we can.
Yeah.
Through hard work and property.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And so let's roll through a couple of these quick properties and have a look at it. This is the Roscommon Road one in Manurewa, obviously. How did you come about this one?
We had an agent told us about the property. The figures on it are wrong, actually, Steve. The purchase price was actually $330 on that property. I'm not sure what happened there.
Well, we always get
but the new slide hasn't been changed. Yeah.
The property, we had to actually change the floor completely through the house. It was one of the sort of 80s built hardy plank homes where the chip wall on the floor, I think it was through rising damp, it basically was sagging in every single room. So we basically cut the whole floor out of that property.
Yep.
It had a shed out the back that somebody had converted years ago, and so we basically did the whole property up. We spent $90,000 on it, but we had a good return when we sold it again.
Yep.
We sold it for $572, and as you can see from the property, we did quite an extensive amount to it. The gross profit was 119 on that.
Right.
Like your previous person, you had attending Alex there. We do a lot of joint ventures. Yep. For various reasons, partly because we can't fund everything ourselves and we find a lot of property, and so we use the group for the same, to do the same sort of thing. We share the love kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. What sort of cash then do you think you need to get into a single project?
In Auckland, you're talking sort of probably 500,000.
Yeah, but how much actual folding cash do you need, really? I mean, if you're doing a $500,000 project, you probably need, a $50,000 deposit, 10 odd % minimum, right?
Yeah, at least, yeah. I think it's 20 in Auckland now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you also need Reno cash,
Yeah, for sure. But ultimately, with joint venture partners and creative funding techniques, it's possible to get into a property for an awful lot less than that, wouldn't you say?
Yep, I'd say, yep, definitely.
Yeah. Awesome.
In our first 3 years, we traded property, for the first 3 years continuously with different people in the group, and we saved, and then we started to buy holds, our hold properties. So, and that's by having different partners in the group, as many as we possibly could.
Yep.
And
how many
doing as many houses at one time.
So how many properties do you have in your hold portfolio now?
We're up to 13, Steve, and 6 of those are home and incomes.
Yep. Yep. So, ballpark, what sort of value is the portfolio of hold properties that you're sitting on now after sort of 6-7 years of working this?
So we, as a rough estimate, the properties are worth just under 10 million.
Yeah.
And probably the amount of loaning we've got is probably just over 5 million.
Yeah. Yeah. So a little bit over 5 million in funding on a sort of $10-ish million portfolio. So you're sitting on $5 million worth of equity, and it must cash flow pretty well at that level as well then.
Yes, pretty reasonable. We get about 9% across the whole portfolio.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
And that started from us just having our own property and just hard work, really, because we've really just got those whole properties, like I said, in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it, because we honestly didn't think we'd be able to ever do this. But thanks to Sean and his mentoring and teaching us exactly how to do it, and having mortgage supply there to help us get through things as well.
Yeah.
They sort of help you in all ways, so they guide you right through it.
Yeah, and I mean, shortly at the end of this webinar, I'm going to make an offer to the people online tonight, and I think we've got about 70 tickets left for the Auckland event, and I'm going to make it as easy as humanly possible for everybody online to get their hands on one of those tickets, because we're actually coming up against some venue capacity issues. You guys have crewed the Auckland event for us over the years, and we've gone from big venues to absolutely huge venues just for the number of people we get. And the problem we've got is we're using the Langham Ballroom these days, which is the biggest single ballroom in the country. And it's pillarless. We put a massive stage in there. We put tables and chairs in there and loads of them. And we actually end up packing it out and running out of seats. And the problem is that we actually can't take too many more bookings before the fire marshals start giving us grief. So we have a massive shortage of space, which gives us this week and a half out from the event, only 70 tickets left sort of problem. And the problem is that the fire warden at the Langham is a guy called Leon. And Leon had an accident and his sense of humour fell off. And he doesn't particularly think that it's funny if we book more people than we have seats. So his hotel policy is that we're not allowed to take any more than 70 more bookings, or we have to find a new place to do our presentation. And we've got over 700 people already booked for our Masters event in Auckland on the 1st of May, and it's becoming a bit of an issue. So I'm going to roll through and show you a few more of Daryl and Jen's project properties and then give you the opportunity to grab one of the last 70 tickets really easily. So, yeah, rant over. Sorry about that. Leon's fun. Come and meet him. He's awesome. So, yeah, I know. Mahi Road. Man, this looks awesome. It hardly looks like it needs anything done to it, guys. What were you doing?
It was a ripper last Steve.
Yeah,
we bought this for 185. The person that owned it, he didn't stay there much, and apparently some street kids had come in and lit a fire in the back door porch.
Yep.
And the fire wasn't actually that extensive. It sort of burnt into the wash house, and as you can see up onto the eaves of just on the edge of the house. So basically, we renovated this house. We stripped all the blackened jib off it, and basically redid all the wiring. And we probably only had to replace a couple of rafters. I think that was really about it. So, as you can see at the front, there was quite a bit of rubbish, but it came up really good at this house once we were finished. We pulled the wall out and opened it up, gave it a good look, new paint job. If you roll through those photos a bit more, 45 grand, which I thought was pretty reasonable to renovate that house.
Yeah, that is decent, eh?
From what it was, on the right-hand side, if you can see the right-hand photo there, on the right-hand side, you can see how that was all blackened. We just basically re-jibbed anything that was too far gone.
Yep. Lanes Road?
This probably...
This is my favourite house.
This house here was... we actually bought this and we kept it. The renovation...
Because it was so ugly. Everyone hated it and I loved it.
The first time Sean saw this house, it was 6 feet in the air because we had to repile it, you see.
He was going to kill me.
And I was really worried when I saw it up in the air because it looked like it was going to fall in half. But anyway, we got through all that. It had a sort of a single bedroom sleep out that was just full of rubbish in one corner of the section. And as we went through the renovation, we built a big deck where you can see on the right-hand side where the ranch slider is there. And we moved that little single bedroom over against it and turned it into a sort of like a 4-bedroom home. It also had a 2-bedroom garage out the front, which we rent separately. It's self-contained sleep out. It's got a shower and toilet and a sort of it's separate to the house. So
sure. I got a pretty interesting question come up on the software here, and I'd like you guys to have a throw at it for me. Is the aim to get buy and hold properties for cash flow from trading? So you guys have put a buy and hold portfolio together, and with 5 million equity in it, a $10 million portfolio, and on top of that, you're earning sort of the $400,000 a year in trading properties as well. So you've sort of got cake and eat it too. Which one's most important to you?
Well, we try and keep it balanced, Steve. We actually want to keep buying holds, but
holding is the most important.
Because we work so hard, we feel that we need to relax and treat ourselves as well. So, hence why we take holidays and like Jen does here, marathoning and things like that. So, you know, basically we're after the whole portfolio, but we do a little bit of fun as well.
Yeah. So basically, what you've
Yes.
got is a perfect selection of a balanced portfolio where the cash flow that the properties that you trade helps you buy more buy and holds, and it also props up a really nice lifestyle as well.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct, yeah. It's about,
So Daryl,
40 grand or 50 grand to renovate a property, roughly. Like if you're looking at the bigger type of properties that we do, that we're holding on to. And so we renovate properties, save that amount of money, and when we come across a hold that is yielding, we purchase it and use that trade money to renovate it.
yeah, absolutely. And how do you find these deals when you actually live in Waihi and don't actually physically live in Auckland?
It comes from having a really good relationship with agents.
Yep.
An example comes to mind, actually, Steve. We were down, I think we were in Wellington doing one of your seminars a couple of years ago, and I got rung up by an agent about a deal, and I sort of thought it was a deal over the phone. So she sent the sell and purchase through to the hotel. We printed it off, signed it, and got them to scan and email it back. And we had the deal before the end of the seminar that day.
Yeah, so the relationship from the agent created the deal for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Another good example is we were going to America, and we got rung up at about 8 o'clock at night, and at 10 o'clock at night we were actually looking at a property. The agent said, please don't go on the property, and we snuck down the driveway, and the man actually saw us, and he said, would you like to come in? And we said, well, we're not trying to rob the place or anything. And he let us in, and then we rang the agent and said that he let us in. And we were out, and that's, how they say you write something on the bonnet of a car.
Yep.
We went out, we signed something on the bonnet of the car, and she said, I'll let you know. We flew to America that night, and she rang us and said, I've got you the deal. So, it's, you just do anything to make it work, no matter what time of the day or night it is.
So basically, you're just cheeky.
Yeah. If you want something, you've got to go and get it.
And I understand this has allowed Daryl to buy a nice new car recently too.
Yes, we did purchase a new vehicle to travel around in, Steve.
I understand it's the correct colour also.
Yes, it's a black one. Yep.
Lovely. How long ago was this house, by the way?
This one here is
It's one of our.
It's one of the early ones. I think it's 3.5 years.
Sure.
Ago, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of questions I'm getting to are about, what is a hold property? Well, a hold property is a property that you renovate not to on-sell to make a quick profit, but to hold in your portfolio, put a tenant in, rent it out, and sit on it for many years while the capital gain goes through the roof, hopefully. So there's another one.
Yes, so when we're with Sean, he takes us out one day a week.
Yep.
And on the side of the road, he will go through the rents, what the property he thinks what it's worth once it's done up, how much he thinks the renovation is, and if it yields, currently over 6%, he'll tell us, whether to hold it or not.
Yep.
We just go on his advice, basically.
Yep. He's he's got a pretty incredible mind, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely a master at numbers. He knows every street in Manurewa, Otara, Mangere, as we do, and we trust his judgment on everything. So he's never let us down yet.
Fantastic. Well, we won't bowl through heaps of these with individual explanations, but how many projects do you think that you guys are actually doing in a 12-month period now?
Well, we try to do 2 a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some months are hectic.
It depends.
We can do 3 in a month, Steve, but some other months we might end up only doing 1. It just depends on how the houses arrive. They don't always arrive consistently. We try and time one every 3 weeks, but it doesn't always work out that way. Yeah,
for sure. All right. Well, I think most of the people online tonight have got a fairly fair idea of what's possible and what's achievable. You guys have made put together an incredible portfolio. You've put together some incredible cash flow, which most people would be incredibly envious of, and you've been able to do it through hard work and dedication to the marketplace and to the program over a period of time, and it's self-funded itself, which I think is the most amazing part. So you've now got cash flow coming in from this whole portfolio. You've got cash flow coming in from the trades and the property deals and the joint ventures that you're doing. And you've also put together $10 million worth of real estate. I think that's just absolutely outstanding. And I want to give the people that are online tonight the opportunity to do the same thing, because we've got these 70 remaining tickets to the Auckland event. What would be the last thing that you would say to the people online tonight that are thinking about maybe coming along and spending a day with us?
Don't procrastinate. Just do it. And that's how I work in Property Tutors. I just, do things. I try not to think too much about things. It's hard work, but it's definitely worth it.
I sort of think, take the initiative and change your life, really. Go to the event, hear what they've got to say, and change your lives. And that's really what we did. We went to, we didn't go to the event ourselves, but we changed our lives by joining Property Tutors.
And we don't, we're not showing off about what we've got. We're just out there because we want other people to, try and do what we do. We'd love them to be able to join us.
And for the Auckland event on the 1st of May, you guys are going to be there as well? People can come along and tap you on the shoulder and say good day?
Yep.
Yes.
We'll be there.
Fantastic.
We might even come down to you, Steve, when you do yours.
Oh, magic. Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be greatly appreciated again. All right. Well, look, I'm going to give the people online tonight now a fairly outstanding deal to get them along to the event so that they can do exactly the same thing. And I want everybody online tonight to think about what it's worth to them to replicate the results that Jen and Daryl and Alex have been able to talk to us about tonight. And I'm going to throw this idea out there, and it's this. You don't often get the opportunity in life to be able to take on something like this. And we have worked very hard to make this as easy for you as it can possibly be. So we've got 2 events, an Auckland event and a Wellington event. The Auckland one is selling out very, very quickly. And if you want a ticket to it on the 1st of May, you're really going to have to be quick. So here we go. Here's the deal. The Auckland Masters event is on the 1st of May. It's in the Langham Hotel in Auckland. The Wellington one is on the 15th of May at the Intercontinental in Wellington. We're going to line up a whole pile of our clients, current and past, who are doing exceptional deals, and let you talk to them and let you work your way through it and figure out in your mind what you want to do. There's going to be absolutely no hard sell. It's going to be a huge day of full-on content and excellent property knowledge. We're also going to, for one lucky person who purchases a ticket to the event this evening, we're going to organise to take you for a ride in the Property Tutors helicopter to a very nice winery in the Hawke's Bay. This is going to be a prize for 2 people. We're going to take you there. We're going to ply you with alcohol and give you a really lovely meal and fly you back again. That's just a big bonus that we're going to pull out of the hat for somebody live at the event. The event, as I said, the Langham Ballroom is massive, but we do have incredibly limited numbers of seats still available, simply for the fact that we cannot pack you in like sardines like we would love to. We have an issue with that, and which gives us this problem of 700 plus people have already booked, and we've only got 70 seats left. So if you want a seat for that, we need you to grab it and jump on it this evening. So here's tonight's offer. For the next 60 minutes, or until we run out of tickets, which is a highly likely, we can give you a double ticket, meaning that 2 people can come along to the event for $9.90. We can only do it for the next 60 minutes, and you can grab your tickets through bookthedeal.co.nz. That's the website you go to grab your tickets at the moment. bookthedeal.co.nz. Now, what normally happens at this point is everybody rushes over to Book the Deal. The website crashes a little. You may need to jump on and off there a couple of times to get your tickets nailed and get them sorted. Please do that. Grab yourself a ticket. Come and join us. Meet Alex in Wellington. Meet Daryl and Jen, most likely in Wellington and Auckland, at both events, either event if you wish to, and come and join us. Now, as an extra special bonus for booking this evening and getting one of the very last 70 tickets that we have available, we're going to choose 5 of the ticket sales tonight and actually upgrade them to VIP status, which means you're going to be front row 2 ice creams. that you're not really going to have 2 ice creams. That's just a saying. All I'm saying is you're going to have the very best seating at the very front of the stage. We're going to pick 5 people out of the sales that we get tonight for the event and put them right at the front. Now, what I'm going to do is a special thank you to those people for grabbing your early bird tickets and grabbing the last few tickets for the Auckland event, is we have Kurik Ashley, a peak performance coach, coming across from Australia to speak at our event for 1 hour at the Auckland event and the Wellington event. If you purchase your tickets this evening, those 5 VIP upgrade tickets that we're going to pick out of the hat are going to get a free copy of Kurik's book. Now, we haven't done that before because Kurik's book is great and it's expensive. It's $80 a copy odd for a hard copy of his book. I have 5 of them left in my own personal stash. I'll be bringing them up to Auckland with me for the Auckland event, and I'm going to give them to those 5 upgrades on the VIP tables for free. We're going to throw in a pile of freebies for those people. So that's just for people who grab their ticket from bookthedeal.co.nz this evening. So there's a huge package of really nice, decent freebies there. And I tell you what, I think they're absolutely all totally irrelevant, and I think that they're all fluff. Do you know why? Because I think the key part of this is the event, the content, and the people you're going to meet when you get there itself. It's coming along and learning what Daryl and Jen know and how they've turned it into wealth for themselves, a lifestyle, and wealth for their families. And it's coming along and talking to Alex and seeing the portfolio that he's put together and how he's turned that into a lifetime of wealth for himself as well. I think that's the important point. And so what we need you to do now is dive along to bookthedeal.co.nz and grab yourself those tickets. Now, as an extra special thing there, if you're really struggling with the booking page on bookthedeal.co.nz, please jump on to the questions and answer panel in the GoToWebinar software that you're looking at right now. And if you really have trouble with booking your ticket, then give me your contact phone number and email address in the questions and answers panel, and we will give you a phone call either this evening or tomorrow to book your ticket and take the $10 off you and make sure that you get this really great deal. And just to cover it off, if you go to bookthedeal.co.nz, there's a bit of a viewing page there. If you go to the booking page from there, there's a little bit of a video with me, and you can book your tickets directly through that page. It is a secure page. It's $10. It's $10, which allows you to have 2 people go. Okay. We will explain absolutely everything about our product, our coaching, etc. once you get to the event live. And to be fair, that entire explanation takes less than half an hour. The entire rest of the day is filled with content, how we did it, exceptional speakers from New Zealand and offshore, all inviting you to have the lifestyle that you want to have and to be able to turn this into the wealth that you want from doing exactly what we're talking about. Okay, so I can see that there's actually 16, I think, ticket sales that have come through so far. David, thank you very much for your questions tonight. And yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the event in Auckland as well. And also John as well. 17 ticket sales rolled through. So once again, to roll through exactly what that is, we have 70 remaining tickets for the Auckland event, quite a few still for Wellington event because it's still 2 or 3 weeks off on the 15th of May. And if you book tonight, you go in the draw for, we will take 1 couple up in the helicopter, take them for a spin, take them to a winery, give them some lunch, put a big smile on their face, because, that's a real hardship for Sean and I. We love to do that as well. So, you're our excuse to go and do that for the day. 5 of the people that buy tickets tonight will be upgraded to VIP status, meaning you'll be absolutely at the front of the room with freebies, chocolates on the table, bottled water, etc. You'll have the best seats in the house. And also for those 5 people that we upgrade, I'm going to personally supply you with a copy of Kurik's book. Now, Kurik's going to blow your mind. He's an amazing speaker and a really cool guy, and you're going to have a copy of his hardcover book, and you can walk up to him later on, and you can hand him a copy of his book and say, can you please sign this for me? And he'll do it for you. So he can autograph the book for you live at the event as well. Awesome. Michelle said, yes, please, couple of tickets for Wellington. Excellent. My hometown. Let's go. So certainly we'll do that. Joanne has bought a couple of tickets there for the Auckland event. Great. Looking forward to seeing you there too. Thank you very much for joining us on the webinar this evening. We are now at 32 ticket sales out of the 70, so we're really pumping along through that. So looking really forward to meeting everybody that's picking up a ticket there this evening. That's fantastic. Thank you also, obviously, to Alex and Jen and Daryl for being our presenters this evening. Some thank you messages coming through on the questions and answers page there. Stoked to have you guys be such passionate and loyal supporters of not only Property Tutors and our brand, but to be so encouraging of making sure that other people learn this information and are able to do some stuff with real estate and to be able to to go out and replicate exactly what you're doing, which is it's I don't know how to put it. It's just a really nice thing to do because property investors really don't compete with each other very much. It makes a very, very cool thing to do. So once again, that's the Property Masters event in Auckland, which is Sunday the 1st of May at the Langham Hotel in Simon Street, Central Auckland. It's 9 a.m. start, but we do registrations from 8:30. Same timing for the Wellington event, just different location, which is Sunday the 15th of May at the Intercontinental Hotel in Grey Street in Wellington. Once again, it starts at 9 a.m., registrations from 8:30. Okay, so those of you that are bound through to the sales page there at bookthedeal.co.nz, please make sure you're grabbing those last few tickets. I'm going to answer a few questions here. Software's been a bit slow this evening, so it'll pull up the questions and I will let you know. Kirk has apparently just bought a ticket. Just had that one bound through as well. We're now at 45 odd ticket sales from this evening's webinar of our 70 ticket allocation. Great to have you on board, Kirk. Look forward to seeing you at the Auckland event. I'll be emceeing and wandering around the event in Auckland all day, so you guys really enjoyed this webinar. I hope you have. Please just tap me on the shoulder and say g'day, say hello. Really looking forward to catching up with everybody there as well. A couple of people saying they had audio issues. Yes, we have recorded the event, so we should be able to supply you with a recording of this webinar this evening as well. So we'll email that one out at some point as well. There we go. Awesome. Tanya says she's really looking forward to coming to the event. I need to attend. I need to change my life. Awesome. Great attitude. Looking forward to seeing you there then. Boom. Comment here, we've got any events coming up in Christchurch? Not currently, but we're seriously looking at doing one later in the year. I haven't told Phil Thompson, our CEO, yet that nugget of information yet, but I understand he's probably listening in and probably just thrown his toys out of the cot because we actually make him do quite a lot of work, to be fair. So sorry about that, Tomo. Excellent. He tells me we are now at 48 tickets sold out of the 70 allocation that we've got. Awesome. So that's pumping along. All right, let's open up some more of these questions. We always get some interesting ones on Facebook and also the webinar. People just literally don't believe the purchase price or the renovation price that we can do these projects for. And I think it's worthy of mention that, we don't pay full price for anything. We don't pay full price to buy the houses. We don't pay full price to do the reno. We don't pay full price for the carpet, the paint, the contractors, anything at all. We have an awful lot of buying power in the marketplace, and we wield that to our advantage to make sure that we can buy stuff as cheaply as we possibly can and renovate it as cheaply as we can, or economically, if you like. And we just don't pay that much for a lot of this stuff. I think it's a really important thing to note that when most people spend $50,000, $55,000 on a renovation, we could probably get exactly the same thing done for $40,000, and often a lot quicker too. All right, so we're now at 55 tickets sold of our 70. We are going to pull the plug at 70, to be fair. If you still want a ticket after that, it's possible you may have to go on a waiting list for that. So what I would say is if you are still sitting there and fighting with the bookthedeal.co.nz booking page and it's crashing at all because there's still a couple of hundred people I can see sitting on there right at this very, very moment, then please give me your phone number and email address in the questions panel in the software here, and I will give you a call, or Phil Thompson, our CEO, will give you a call either this evening or tomorrow, and we'll make sure that we allocate a ticket for you with all of those extra bonuses. So you'll still be in for the Chopper prize draw. We're still going to do a upgrade of 5 tickets to VIP status in our program, and we're also going to give away 5 of Kurik's books to some of the attendees in the VIP side. So I'm just being told by Phil, our CEO, that Janine, our lovely new executive, is going to be speaking to the people that put the details down and want us to give them a phone call tomorrow as well. So that's excellent. They will definitely hear from us. Questions. How long is the seminar? It's blimmin' long because we put heaps and heaps of content in it. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. There's plenty of breaks for coffee, tea, food, etc. And then it finishes about 7 o'clock in the evening. Really enjoying your webinar. Thank you very much. That's fantastic. I'm glad you did. Chris says in the questions and comments section here, I paid $47 for my ticket. Well, I tell you what, Chris, when you come along to the event, and if you don't feel that you've got $47 worth of value from the event, you tap me on the shoulder. I'll have $50 in my pocket and I'll hand it to you. If you really don't feel like we gave absolutely everything from stage and taught you something really cool that's going to help you in future and make you some wealth and property, even if it's just one little thing. If you don't, I will literally have, hold on, pulling out my wallet right now. Here we go, I got $50 right here. I'm holding it. Hear that? That's $50. I'm going to have that in my pocket. If you don't feel you got $50 worth of value at the very end of the event and you've listened to everything we've had to say all day, I will hand you this $50 and you can have your money back. And that goes for anybody else who's on the line tonight as well. If you don't feel that we give you absolutely everything on the day and absolutely nail it for you, then we'll give you your money back. Samet says 2 tickets for Auckland, please. Done. How much are the Wellington tickets? Good question, Michael. They're exactly the same as the Auckland tickets, $9.90. So you can book them on exactly the same page. Grab yourself some. Dion says, grab me 2 tickets, please. Done. We will make sure that's done for you as well. Still 200 people online tonight, and we are at 60 tickets sold. So we have got 10 to go, and then guess what? Steve's day is over. But as I said, hey, I've made you guys the promise that I'll make sure that you get tickets if we possibly can. So if you're still struggling with that booking page, or if your transaction hasn't gone through yet, then give us your email address and phone number on the questions panel there, and I will absolutely make my very best to make sure you're not sitting on someone else's knee at the event. Seriously, the fire warden issue with the Langham Hotel it's insane. I can't believe it. You should be able to get more people in a room loaded with exits. Not a big problem. We'll have you sitting up on the stage if we have to. Excellent. All right, 2 more tickets just gone through for Scott. He's grabbed his 2 tickets. Done deal. Looking forward to seeing you there. It's magical. Those are 2 Wellington tickets. Good one. See you down here. That'll be excellent. Bang. Who else have we got? Any more questions there? A lot of technical difficulties with the software tonight. Doesn't normally give us this much grief, to be fair. So I'm going to close a couple of things down to make sure I can get into some more questions. 66 tickets sold, so we've got 4 to go. Bang. 180 people still online. Wow. Alrighty. What else have we got here? The other thing we have sometimes too is people ask us about parking, and I've got that question coming in too. Both hotels have concierge parking, and if you bowl up to the concierge parking and bulk at the price of it, at least just ask them where you can park your car yourself. So just bowl into the front concourse of either of the hotels and ask them where the public parking is around the place. It's the easiest, cheapest way to get your head around it, to be fair. And we are at 68 ticket sales. Bang. Wow. That's a huge result, guys. That's just a huge product of Auckland's still booming along, and suddenly, believe it or not, wow, Wellington's warmed up. Been 8 years of flat market, and suddenly everybody's making money down here. It's brilliant. Loving it. Alrighty, so we've only got, 4, I think, tickets to go. No, 3. We're at 67, I think it is now. Bang. Wow, busy night. There we go. What else have we got in the way of questions? How much is your coaching? Yeah, good question. To be fair, I'm really not going to tell you. I don't think it's about the cost of the program. I think it's about the value. You've heard from a couple of our clients. We'd love to show you heaps more of them. And so we will tell you exactly how much the cost of our program is at the event. And as I said, there's no thumb screws there at all. If you want to work with it and find a way to work with us, we'll help you to make sure that happens. In the past, we've had a lot of stuff go on, like people have come along and said, hey, look, I absolutely really want to do this. You guys are amazing. You're exactly the perfect mix for me and for my life, but I can't afford it right now. And we've actually helped people with budgeting advice as much as anything to be able to be in a position to buy their first property and to help them get into it and to get started on the property ladder. And they've come back to us a couple of years later and said, hey, I've bought a house, or I'm ready to join your program now, and be able to basically turn a negative position or a fairly sad position or whatever into into something that's really equitable and fundable by a Main Street bank. And just love doing that. Love being able to turn people's lives around. Cement says waiting for email confirmation. If you don't get that, what you will get sometime tomorrow is a confirmation from GoToWebinar, the software that you're listening to right now. And the confirmation will say, hey, Steve would like some feedback from you. If you haven't had your confirmation by then, when you get that feedback email, just reply to it. It comes directly through to my email, my desktop, and I'll make sure that we've got your name down on the list there, Cement, for your tickets. Jamie asks, will there be another event in the future? Possibly. It may not be this year. We, particularly Sean in the Auckland market, but both of us realistically get incredibly oversubscribed for our program, and sometimes we just don't need to take on another event to be able to get our hands on enough clients to roll through things. So there you go. Mark asks, is there any kind of property you would not buy? I'm not keen on brothels, as in owning them, and I don't like fish and chip shops and industrial for certain reasons. There's virtually nothing else I wouldn't buy. For the right money, with a good return and any sort of capital gain for the right reason, I'd buy just about anything. My staff on the side here have just told me that Cement now has his tickets. They've been emailed out to him. Bang. Instant service. Would you look at that? Other than that, everything's got its price. So if there's cash flow and or equity in it, and it suits your portfolio style, meaning that it's giving you what you need to feed your portfolio to go ahead, then no, there's nothing I wouldn't be into in regards to real estate from that. I hate fish and chip shops because they just stink. They can't really be used for anything else. But hey, there you go. I'm getting told they're a cash cow. Yeah, okay. I'll believe you. Each their own. Cool. Geez, what have we got? Two to go? Oh, here we go. He's telling me we've sold 72 tickets. Oops. We're done. Ding, ding. Hey, look, if you guys are still online tonight, absolutely grab another ticket. We will do our very, very best to accommodate and to fit you in. We can sit you on someone's knee, No, I'm kidding. We'll do our very, very best. We are going to run out of tickets for the Auckland event. If you don't have your ticket now, it's possible that we will have to squeeze you in somewhere. But hey, if you're still buying tickets and you're online there now on that booking page, grab your ticket. We'll do our best. We'll see what we can possibly do. We'll make sure we get a spot for you. The other option is, you'll obviously get all the prizes as well. Boom. Cement says, are those VIP tickets? Hey, look, you've got tickets, okay? Be thankful. No, I've got to be legitimately, even-handed in getting a hands on, giving out those freebies. Steve, for anybody who may have concerns about a market correction, can you explain how your guys' strategies work in a down market? Yeah, absolutely. Sean and myself have been coaching clients for nearly 10 years, and we've coached through an up market, a flat market, a down market, back into an up market again. And to be fair, when you're trading property, you're actually only trading through it very quickly. You might only own it for a number of weeks. And so essentially, the change in the marketplace doesn't affect that too badly. It's only if you hold on to something for 6-12 months that the fluctuation in the marketplace can actually affect that. We don't find it to be too much of a problem, and we're buying stuff for a big enough discount so that it makes no difference to us. So, yeah, there you go. It's not too bad. Dion says 2 tickets for Auckland, please. Thanks for all the information from Nicole. No problem at all. Jude says, my brother will try again to grab a ticket shortly. Awesome. We'll do our best to make sure you grab one. Sam says, purchased mine for the Auckland event at the start of the webinar. Looking forward to it. Pumped. Awesome speakers. Thank you for sharing your stories. No problem at all. As I said, Alex and Jen and Daryl will be at either or both of the Auckland or the Wellington events. Tap on the shoulder, tell them how inspirational you found their story. I'm sure they get a real kick out of it. It's property investing can be a pretty solo exercise, and to do it as a group like this and get the feedback is pretty cool. Paulette says, please do me a couple of tickets for the Wellington event. No problem. Got your mobile number there. We will be in touch either tonight or Janine will be in touch with you first thing tomorrow morning. Thanks so much for being online with us tonight. Got my guys in the background there. How about an update on ticket numbers? Come on, let me know. Boom. Are Property Tutors services available in Christchurch at all? We get this question an awful lot, and at the moment the answer is no. There's a lot of, as you can imagine, technical difficulties with doing that. One of them being that we really do need to secure a coach who's an absolute complete legend and knows Christchurch like the back of their hand twice, and one thing or another. But we would really and dearly love to have somebody positioned down in Christchurch doing this. We know there's a need for it. But I tell you what's happened in the meantime is I've got maybe 10 clients who actually commute from Christchurch up to Wellington and work with me in the Wellington property market, which is a more predictable and readable property market than Christchurch is at the moment. And we find it eminently doable for them to commute that way. What's the time? What time is the seminar on the 1st of May? It's a 9 o'clock start. Be there nice and sharp. We want to make sure everybody gets a good seat. Registration start at 8:30, so you can get in nice and early. And to be fair, we're usually there earlier than that too. Come along and grab a coffee. There actually is a really nice coffee joint in the Langham. All right. Hey, look, I'm cooked. I don't know about you guys, but this constitutes a big night for me. And I feel like I've given you guys an awful lot of information. That website's still up, and if you want to grab your last couple of tickets, I think we're actually getting to the oversubscribed point now. We'll have to sort out some more. But if you want to get on that list and make sure you get all those freebies tonight, as I say, either grab one from bookthedeal.co.nz or put in the questions and answer software here, your details, and I'll jump on that as quick as I can. Hey, look, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Hope you got a lot of content, a lot of information out of it, and enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed doing it. And I look forward to catching up with you guys on another webinar very, very shortly. Awesome. Hey, thanks very much and good night.